What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 12th Man FC. Manchester City just thrashed Borussia Dortmund 4-1. Here is my match reaction now that the game is over. Bruges and Barcelona also had an amazing match. Ended 3-3. Barcelona coming from behind to get, to tie the game up and everything. But City come away with the 3 points. We are now undefeated in the Champions League so far during this league phase of the tournament, and we are now at the halfway point of the first stage of the tournament as well. So this was an amazing victory. We are now coming into this upcoming weekend with massive momentum. That is now 3 wins consecutively in our competition since our league loss to Aston Villa a couple weeks ago. So we desperately needed this one. Players showed up big tonight. Erling Haaland not being the only player on the score sheet for City as well, which is also really good. I said in my last video, in the reaction to City Bournemouth, that Phil Foden has really come into his own, especially in this number 8 role. He is coming back into the form that we know that he could be at. He is evolving as a player immensely, and he showed another brilliant display tonight, getting a brace against Borussia Dortmund with 2 lovely goals as well. The first one was just absolutely class from distance, just finessing a low curled shot into the bottom left corner of the goal. Nothing that the Borussia Dortmund keeper could do about that one. Erling Haaland getting on the score sheet as well, which is really good. But bro, Jeremy Doku is just absolutely phenomenal. He got an assist tonight for Erling Haaland's goal, and the movement that he does to get that assist was just so. It was a thing of beauty, and the thing about Jeremy Doku too, and I've said it because I wasn't really convinced of Doku when he first signed for the club 2 seasons ago because of how predictable he is. Every time he's on the ball and he's running towards a defender trying to create something once we're in the attacking third, I know what he's gonna do. Everyone could see it. He does the same things over and over again, but he's just so good. He's so hard to stop. He's extremely pacey. He's very strong on the ball. He's got good vision as well. His technique is just phenomenal, that even though he's extremely predictable, you just can't stop him. You can't. And that little flick to get across the defender, using his pace afterwards to set Erling Haaland up for the finish was just absolutely beautiful. And I was just in awe watching that. But overall, great team performance. John Stones comes back into the lineup tonight. Once I saw the lineup going into the match, I thought that John Stones was gonna do the role that we're used to seeing him do. Well, at least against Villarreal in the last time in the Champions League, where he stepped on the ball, he steps into that number 6 position. Goes up into the midfield and becomes an outlet going forward as a deep lying playmaker and ball holder as well. But that wasn't the case tonight. He stayed as a center back on and off the ball. He didn't really push up all that much, which was a little bit surprising, but Nico Gonzalez absolutely held it down in the midfield, as the center half, playing in that Rodri position. Just did an amazing job. Very unfortunate for the team to not keep the clean sheet. I think Donnarumma definitely needed a clean sheet tonight just to kind of have a lot of confidence and momentum going into the weekend, which is going to be a very huge test for the club. But I'm not too concerned. I haven't been too concerned with the defensive efforts of the team so far this season, and I also noted that in my last video as well. I'm more so concerned with the goal scoring front. But if I'm being completely honest, the fact that we weren't able to keep a clean sheet tonight, it makes me worry just a tad bit more, because of the fact that it seems like we can't finish teams off completely and have a full-on dominant match. There's more often than not in the past year now, we can't seem to keep the focus on for a full 90 minutes, and see games off completely where we're not letting up any chances. We're not letting the opponents kind of build into some type of rhythm, momentum, and we don't we've been letting teams kind of like take it to us, right? And like I said, lapse of like focus, loss of focus here and there that leads to us conceding goals that we shouldn't be conceding. Like Dortmund's goal, for as great as it was, they shouldn't be scoring anything. We should be seeing that match off 3-0, 4-0. Especially considering the fact that they hardly had Donnarumma hardly had anything to do the entirety of the match. In the first half, he only had to save one shot, if I remember correctly, and then in the second half, towards like maybe the last quarter of the match, we definitely let Dortmund kind of like build some momentum and give them some type of like enthusiasm to think that they might be, if they could get a goal, that they might be able to get something, maybe make it like very tight knit, like 3-2 or something. And then they got the 3-1, but we ended up getting the fourth goal via Ryan Cherki as well. So yeah, I think if we could just stay a little bit more focused throughout an entirety of 90 minutes, and not concede anything, we would be a lot more stronger. And like I said in the last video as well, the attack is more so what I'm mainly focused on. And I even said it too in the reaction to City Bournemouth, is that now that Omar Marmoush and Ryan Cherki is back into the team, and Phil Foden also, evolving into this number 8 role, I think that we're going to start seeing a lot more players, and on the attacking side getting the goals, as opposed to just fully relying on Erling Haaland. And we saw that tonight against Borussia Dortmund, which is amazing. Phil Foden with a brace, Ryan Cherki with a goal as well, the fourth one to add insult to injury, with the victory for City over Dortmund and everything. And then Jeremy Doku as well, who's been in absolutely amazing form. He is such a pivotal part of the attack and all that stuff, which I also said last week. So yeah, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more goal scorers, and I think that it's important that we definitely do, because for all the talk about whether or not Erling Haaland, being the sole goal scorer is sustainable and everything, I don't want that to be the case, because it's only sustainable if you could keep Erling Haaland fit, and opponents don't find a way to neutralize him. That is the only way it's sustainable. So I guess, some might say, yeah, that's actually not sustainable. So, but whatever. But anyway, yeah, I'm fully confident in our attacking players to, start picking up the pace and everything and start getting on the score sheet. And then another thing too, Savinho. This is his second match in the Champions League in a row where he's playing off the right wing, and he has put on a brilliant performance. I think that he is very strong in that right wing, which was why, for the match against Villa, he started out on the left wing, and everyone was just like, he just had an amazing match. Leading up to the Villa match, he had an amazing match at right wing versus Villarreal, and we're for the Villa match, we switched him over to left wing, and he didn't really he had a shit match, if I'm being completely honest. So him coming back into the right wing showed why he should be kept there. And the fact that Ryan Cherki as well, versus Bournemouth, versus Swansea and versus Bournemouth, getting on, versus Swansea getting on the score sheet, versus Bournemouth getting 2 assists, and then coming on again today, getting a goal to seal the victory and everything, and he's predominantly a right winger. I think that having that competition there for Savinho and for himself is extremely important, because of the fact that it's, these players are top class. They are absolutely incredible and everything, and they are vital to the attack. So I think having that competition there is good for the team, because it's healthy competition, and it's forcing these top class players to stay switched on at all times. They have to be, because they if they want to compete for that starting role, they have to be switched on. And then and we've seen it before in all these Pep Guardiola City sides, like the squad rotates a lot throughout the entirety of the season, where it seems like, because of the squad depth, it seems like, wow, how are all these attacking players going to get into the side? But Pep Guardiola doesn't necessarily play favorites when it comes to all the attacking players and everything. Like, everyone's going to get given their chance. So they have to be switched on in order for them to shine when their chance does come and everything. So yeah, I think it's super important that Cherki's back. He's starting off extremely well. Omar Marmoush is back as well. But he hasn't been getting as much playing time, and I wonder if that has to do with his fitness levels right now. Like he's coming on as a sub, but he's coming on pretty late into the match, so he's not getting like a substantial amount of playing time off the bench. So I don't know if it's his fitness levels, and we have to kind of like ease him into everything and all that. But yeah, the fact that we have those players back is good, and I'm telling you, we're gonna start seeing more goals from City players, and all that. So with this win now, like I said, three matches undefeated now, all competitions since the league match versus Villa, undefeated in the Champions League so far as well. 3 wins and 1 draw. The draw coming against Monaco. And now we have this huge test against Liverpool this upcoming Sunday. And I've already said it numerous times. The winner of that match, I think, is going to ultimately go on to challenge Arsenal for the league. And Liverpool coming into some really good form as well after losing 4 consecutive league matches in a row, and then losing other matches in other competitions as well. But they arguably played their best game against Real Madrid in the Champions League yesterday. So they've got some good momentum, and they also got the win at the weekend against Aston Villa too. So they're coming into this match with momentum. They definitely don't want to let the league slip up at all. They want to stay as close to Arsenal as possible. So it's going to be a huge test for City this Sunday. So getting this win was very important. So yeah, I think this upcoming weekend is gonna be very telling. So, but anyway, I'm gonna be dropping a Premier League weekend preview on Friday. So look out for that one. I'm also gonna be dropping EAFC Ultimate Team video as well on Friday. Hopefully, I do have my most recent episode of my EAFC 26 career mode with Wrexham, so check that out. I have that link down here now that you could click on if you're interested in watching that. But I'll catch you guys on the next one.